This is Cybert signing into Kane's Wrath on the map Tournament Wasteland for a 1v1. A map that is quite new to me. I think this is the first time I have ever seen it. Might be a new 1.02 plus R19 map, but we're going to be checking it out in this match between the blue Traveler 59 in the top right-hand corner. This is Rex. I hope you guys aren't tired of seeing Rex because he's been in a lot of games recently, and they've pretty much all been very entertaining. So I'm excited to check out another Rex game. And he is going up against this guy in the bottom left-hand corner. This is Bike Rush. He's playing red. He's playing Scrin. Yes, it is a Scrin versus Traveler 59 match. And it looks like no Descent opening from our Traveler 59 player. Feels like for the last couple of years, against top-level players, Descent openings just never actually get anything done, and yet they persist. However, not in this match. BikeRushOwnz, as the vanilla script, did actually go for 3 Descents. A very mild version of the Descent opener, but still a version of the Descent opener. Looks like you do have 2 Tiberium spikes per player. There is also a little defensive turret in the corner, which is quite nice, and kind of a protected blue Tiberium, but the blue Tiberium that's closest to you actually has the cliff in the wrong direction. I said Descent openers never do any damage. All right, Gunwalker is out. Bike Rush should not be able to get a Harvester kill here. He does get a Gunwalker kill, but there is more than enough time for a Rex to get out. A Buzzer Hive and a second Gunwalker. The first Gunwalker kill is maybe preventable if the timing was maybe a little bit different, or if Rex had his Buzzer Hive ready a couple of moments earlier. Maybe you could clock that as a mistake for Rex, but I think he's going to be all right, all things considered. Mutant Hovels in the corner, EMP Control Center in the center as well, and a pretty short walk to your natural expansion for both of these folks. BikeRushOwnz already grabbing that blue Tiberium. Rex not quite grabbing his blue Tiberium just yet. He's going to hold that blue Tiberium for a couple of moments, and, well, actually, he's going for it right now. So not really a couple of moments, much longer than BikeRushOwnz. Now, for those of you who are excited to see some Mechapedes, well, I have no idea if they're going to be Mechapedes, but Master Leaf has sort of said officially the Mechapede bug is fixed. So this is a bug that I was unaware of for a long time until relatively recently, just because we've seen Mechapedes all throughout the life cycle of Kane's Wrath. They're not in every Scrin game, but they're a pretty common unit, and apparently there was some kind of random bug associated with Mechapedes. Perhaps it is similar to the bug where sometimes if you pack up your MCV when an engineer is near it, it will cause the game to crash. Could be something like that where it happens every once in a while. Gets the nerve center, so BikeRushOwnz is predicting that Rex had a tier 3 building queued. It looked like if he did, he very quickly built a power plant instead, but I think he was actually just going for the stasis. So BikeRushOwnz goes for the scout, drops his stasis shield on his opponent, nerve center, and then hopefully is denying the scout from his opponent because Rex now has his own stasis that he is not going to be able to drop because he's actually Traveler 59, so he just has that temporal wormhole instead. Couple of Gunwalkers, couple of Seekers are here. BikeRushOwnz still has a decent amount of cash back behind this. Ooh, drops the infested Tiberium Hive on the field. This just sort of does a bit of damage to Rex's units if they stand in that Tiberium field. In theory, it's kind of a Harvester denial tool, but we see it so very rarely that it sort of doesn't really do anything in a practical sense. Lightning Spike also gets deployed here by BikeRushOwnz. A pretty heavy investment by BikeRushOwnz into denying this field. He had the stasis shield, he dropped the infested hive, he dropped the repair drones, pretty much all of the tricks in the book, and oh, All right, that is a bit presumptive of Rex to drop a growth accelerator on the blue Tiberium. This is a very exposed blue Tiberium field, and BikeRushOwnz had, no problem swinging over to that blue field to harass the Harvester and gets a free kill on that growth accelerator. That's kind of a funny choice from Rex, and in this case, it did not pay off. However, late game, sometimes that blue Tiberium, you can plant a couple of units to keep it safe. Cultists are getting sniped, and also this Prodigy is here as well. Cultists continue to get sniped, and this Buzzer Swarm support power that BikeRush called in has no answer on the Rex side of the map. There are a couple of Gunwalkers here for Rex. He actually, I think, just blinked one away to save it. Get out of there, Prodigy. Get out of there, Prodigy. And barely the Prodigy will maybe escape those buzzers coming dangerously close. And the Prodigy, unlike a lot of other units, does take a couple of hits from buzzers. He will go back to that Tiberium field, get some repairs, and then the buzzers will eventually get chewed away by those photon cannons. Tripods are out. Cultists are here as well. And Rex has secured his future. Now, this is a 3 Tiberium field map, so you do have a third base that you can take. It is sort of guaranteed per player. You do not have to fight. So it is one of those maps that has a very nice split of fields. You got more than enough income for a medium length game, even a little bit longer of a match than normal. Gunwalkers are here. Tripods are here. Cultists are here as well. There's the slow field on the Shard Mechas, but there is going to be the phase to stop those Shard Mechas from getting owned while they're just slowly trying to move away from these Cultists and the Tripods. Gunwalkers getting eaten up one by one, and we did see BikeRushOwnz has placed his own growth accelerator on that blue field in the south, even though Rex is potentially quite nearby it, although I guess this is just a Prodigy. He's going to blink, and I assume he wants the tier 3. He's actually going to force the sell-off of that upgraded power plant, a minor setback for BikeRushOwnz. I assumed Rex was looking for that tier 3. He was thinking maybe I could shut down an Eradicator Hexapod, something like that, but it is not going to be the case. It's a little bit too late for that. A couple of Tripods do get teleported away. They get blinked away, actually down south, and it looks like they may actually get a kill on the growth accelerator as well. So hit for hit on the growth accelerator, and no, BikeRushOwnz just completely sells it off. He says, I'm not even going to take the chance on it. One Tripod in the middle of the map gets eaten up by that Eradicator Hexapod. 2 Tripods in the south. Well, I was going to say they're going to escape, but now these are a bunch of mech beats here. They get close and personal to one of the Tripods, and the second one goes down as well. No saving teleports for those Tripods. These Cultists have been around for a good long time in this game, but we have not seen them get very many valuable captures. They might be able to jump in, grab some harvesters or something like that, but for the current moment, these Cultists have not been especially valuable, and he will grab one harvester, maybe even just sends it into enemy lines and says, I'm going to steal some Tiberium, or you're going to have to kill your own harvester. And BikeRushOwnz says, all right, I'll kill my own harvester. Gets a bit of cash back for it, though, so I guess that is one advantage that the Hexapod player gets in that case. Well, two refineries on the front line for BikeRushOwnz. His third field is pretty well established, and he's got a few more harvesters on the front line than Rex does. Both players with a decent amount of cash in the reserve as they go into what I thought was going to be a fight and then turned into a non-fight. Eradicator Hexapod emerges and blinks immediately to the front line as well for Rex. We barely even heard that scream finish before Rex had teleported his Eradicator Hexapod to the front line. Area Mind Control ends up missing all of those Mechapedes, and BikeRushOwnz whisks his Eradicator Hexapod away to safety. We did actually see BikeRush rebuild the stasis chamber, so he did sell that off at some point, and now he has rebuilt it. So we do have to keep an eye on Rex's forces. At any moment, they may become completely frozen in time. Signal Transmitter is also here. BikeRushOwnz with nearly 5K in the bank, and still basically an entire Tiberium field still to harvest between his natural expansion and his third. He has a lot of cash. Rex may end up losing this harvester, stealing that blue Tiberium, but, you know, the other ones have gotten away with it. An Eradicator Hexpod is actually going to find a kill, potentially on the tier 3 here, maybe even on the nerve center. That would be a huge tech reset, but I think the health bar might be a little bit too low unless Bike Rush truly doesn't turn anything around to save that Eradicator Hexapod. Mastermind and, okay, a tripod as well. So BikeRushOwnz did come prepared. He's gonna force that Eradicator Hexapod away. Signal Transmitter on the left side of the map, but haven't seen a ton of gravity stabilizers yet from BikeRushOwnz. He could be planning a bit of a late game transition, or that could just be a support power signal transmitter. A little area mind control there. Link forward. Will he actually get the tier 3 this time? He will indeed. Sells it off. Nicely done by Rex, and is going to blink in a couple of Gunwalkers, although one dies quite immediately. And BikeRushOwnz, who had 2 refineries at his main base still, somewhat unnecessarily, will sell one of them off as he hunts down this Prodigy, chasing it all over the map, and no, Rex will not get an additional kill. He did go for the area mind control on the tripod, but getting that tier 3 is a good enough get. Although at that point, BikeRushOwnz, he already had, oh, now he has 2 signal transmitters, which is a bit of a curious choice. But as I was saying, BikeRushOwnz, he already had the Eradicator Hexapod, he already had the signal transmitter as well, so the additional tier 3 is not the end of the game to lose that at this point. He's going to have the cash, he's going to have the production facilities to rebuild it, and Rex does get the scout on BikeRush's third base. He knows that he is a good bit behind the harvesting of BikeRushOwnz. But BikeRushOwnz, he's sitting a little bit high on the cash, and Rex is sitting even higher on the cash. Both of them have relatively small armies, all things considered. That is a very aggressive blink forward, but he wants the EMP onto the Eradicator Hexapod, and he will get it. The phase comes in, though, and BikeRushOwnz spends his cash and is ready to go. Rex, on the other hand, still sitting, but there's a red dot in the wrong spot. BikeRushOwnz grabs the, oh, he gets the signal transmitter as well, sells off the MCV immediately. Rex still has a gravity stabilizer, and BikeRushOwnz summons in the mothership, but he forgets to power down his signal transmitter on the left side of the map, so it spawns. Instead of in the middle of Rex's base on the right side of the map, it spawns on the left side of the map. The engineer will not get the capture there. The tripod gets blinked on home, and Storm Riders are here for BikeRushOwnz. Rex unable to spend his cash. Now he's down a production facility. He's down an MCV, and he's most likely building, well, that looks like it's building a bit too quickly. BikeRushOwnz is going to try and cause even more problems for Rex. It's going to be Descents. It's not going for an engineer. He's trying to kill the drone ship, but it's not fast enough. He was trying to kill the gravity stabilizer, I assume. And there is going to be the Emperor's Rage fired in. Overlord's Wrath gets called in, and it's going to be a big Tiberium meteor descending upon Rex's base as BikeRushOwnz crashes into it. Way too much money floating. No production facilities here for Rex. One war factory in the north. He was not able to get out anything else because he spent all of his time rebuilding that drone ship up to nearly 18K in float. So when you're looking at this game and you're wondering, why does BikeRushOwnz have so much stuff and Rex have nothing? It's because Rex has everything in the bank. BikeRushOwnz has rebuilt that Eradicator Hexapod, and BikeRushOwnz is coming for the kill. The phase will save Rex for now. And this is actually a fully heroic descent in the base of Rex, courtesy of BikeRushOwnz. The slow field comes in, trying to slow down BikeRush's mastermind as Rex closes in on the Eradicator Hexapod of Bike Rush, and it looks like he will get the kill. He's got the health bar win at the very least, and this Mechapede is going to be sacrificed to help get the kill a little bit faster, but it just won't matter with everything that Bike Rush has, although he himself is also climbing quite high in that income graph, and unfortunately for Rex, his 20K just is not enough. When you've got virtually no production facilities, he's dropping off more Tiberium than he's realistically spending. And as a result, BikeRushOwnz, the only thing that he has to kill is his own units because Rex's cultists are causing a bit of havoc here for BikeRushOwnz. And Rex may have actually done it. He may have actually stopped the army, but what does he have that shoots up? Not a lot of Scrin infantry shoots up, unfortunately, and with no real... He's actually building another... What is going on with Rex? He's building multiple MCVs, and he is going to try and just, I don't know, escape, spread out. We'll see. BikeRushOwnz fires, but he actually kind of misfires there as this lightning spike is going to try and survive so that it can chain this attack out. And there's going to be one drone ship going down into the Tiberium as well, but it's not enough of a chain. Rex loses everything to the south, now climbing up to 21,000 credits, and BikeRushOwnz, who's sort of also got a bit of an additional bank that he needs to spend, is going to have to deal with the mass descents that are coming in. A couple of engineers will go down. Gunwalkers are here. And look at that. BikeRushOwnz going to be calling in the Buzzer Swarm support power just to get the kill on the Husk. He didn't even care about getting the kill on all of these descents with that support power. He was going to handle it with Buzzer Hives, with Gunwalkers, the old-fashioned way. And BikeRush's drone mothership, which had a bit of a misfire, had a bit of a mishap. Oh, unfortunately, it will be the kill of another Husk. Rex trying to reclaim those Husks, but he just can't do it fast enough. 16K in the bank. BikeRushOwnz dropping 4 portals and a war factory. Will be able to spend himself down to only 1K. Rex is going to try and escape, and the drone ship goes down. The chain will catch, and that will be the end of Rex's production. He still has so much money in the bank, and he's going to try one last time to kill that mama ship, but I just don't think it'll matter. There's a huge army coming behind this. Rex finally starting to spend some of his bank, but it just isn't enough. Descents and Gunwalkers going to be joining together. BikeRushOwnz will not be able to save the mama ship, but I don't think he'll have trouble ending this game. BikeRushOwnz has spent his whole 10 grand, and now he has probably too many production facilities for the amount of income that he actually has coming in. However, he does have a much larger army than Rex, although admittedly it is Descents and Gunwalkers, and if there were more tripods here, then Rex might actually have a bit of a fighting chance. But BikeRushOwnz has regrouped his force. He pulled everything down to the south, and I have no idea why. Just because, I guess, just because he felt like it, perhaps, is the only real answer. Rex, with no income, with no tech, with only 1 production facility and 2 TIB spikes, is going to fight it out as best he can. BikeRushOwnz pulls back his entire force. I guess he could have escaped with this MCV, but he didn't even try, and he's got the stasis chamber. He's also got a storm column coming in. He doesn't have the cash for a stasis shield, but if he does, he would be able to take down those tripods a little bit more easily. Mass Gunwalker versus Mass Gunwalker, but one guy has an economy, one guy has production as well, and the storm column doesn't hurt either. I mean, Rex does actually have repairs here, so that is nice, but of course it ultimately doesn't matter, and that will do it. A bit of a goofy misstep by BikeRush, but a pretty good Scrin versus Traveler 59 overall. And that units graph does tell a story. Whereas the resource graph looks neck and neck. pretty much the whole time. And again, they were both floating a huge amount at one point, but the advantage was BikeRushOwnz actually had production facilities and was able to spend all of that cash, resulting in these huge unit spikes, and then he can throw them away, and it doesn't even matter. That'll do it for this match on Tiberium Wasteland, Tournament Wasteland. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Cyber signing out.